Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Today's question comes from David in West Virginia. I've recently learned that a couple of my employees mooch personal money from soft-hearted coworkers and aren't paying back what they've borrowed in a reasonable amount of time, if ever. While it may just be a couple of $100s of personal money, I'm afraid of negative culture developing in the workplace. Do I have a right to address the situation since it's between them personally and the business isn't really involved? Do I have a right? Yeah, I think you do, in the sense of these are people that you're employing, and it's now becoming an issue that is it's not a gossip issue. This is a fact. At least you're outlining it in a way where you know this is a fact and it's rising up to you. And this affects the actual team dynamic. And I think talking to the people that are loaning the money is probably where I would start. I think anytime you've got a situation like this where you've got people just with bad behavior, where they're borrowing basic small amount of money and not paying it back, that's just irresponsible. And to me, that's a sign that they shouldn't be working for you. So I would be addressing that issue, not so much getting into all these details. I would kind of end around it instead of sit down with these people like they're little kids. I may be wrong on that. You may have a different approach, but I would probably address the fact that there's a character problem here, and it's been made aware to me that's a character problem, and I don't want people working for me that have character problems.
Yeah. You don't have a right. You have an obligation.
You
are in charge of what happens there under your leadership, and crap is happening under your leadership. And if you don't do anything about it, you suck as a leader. So you've got to do something about it. Now, then the question becomes, how heavy-handed are you?
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with.
What is it that you do? So if it's a couple of $100, I'm probably starting with the two people loaning money. I'm going to give them both a total money makeover book, pay for them to go to Financial Peace University, and here's your $200 back, and don't ever loan anybody money again as long as you work here. If you do, I'm going to fire you.
I like that approach.
And just make them whole.
Yep.
And then shut down the source. Then I'm going to the two or the couple of people, whoever it is, that borrowed the money and didn't pay it back, and say, this is over. If you borrow money from someone here at the office or get money as a gift from someone here at the office, again, as long as you work here, it will be your last day. You're not doing this anymore. For you to take money from someone that's hardworking and then not give it back to them as promised is a character problem. It's almost stealing. You're pretty close. And so, no, you're not going to do that while you work here. I want an environment where people feel safe, where people like each other, they trust each other. That's the culture that we're going to have, and that can only occur if you are worthy of trust. And so I have paid them the money back. You don't owe them. You are forgiven the debt. But if you ever borrow a dime or take a dime in charity from someone else that works here while you work here, and I find out about it, it will be your last day. And I'd give them a zero tolerance. One strike, you're out from here on. So they get a warning. They're whole. The other guy's whole. Problem solved. It's over. And then I would make I don't know how big an organization this is, but I would just make an announcement that just says, hey, guys, sometimes people want to borrow money and stuff. I've made a decision that's not okay here. And if somebody comes to you to ask you to borrow money from them, it's not okay here. You don't need to loan people money that work here. Everybody here works too hard. Nobody here is rich. Okay? So don't get in that business, and you guys quit trading dollars back and forth. You don't trade spit back and forth. You don't trade dollars back and forth. You work here. This is what we're doing. Okay? And, just make a general announcement, make a joke about it, and move along. And don't make a big thing like we've had this serious problem, and I wouldn't do all that. Yeah. I'll just make a general blanket, quick statement, 30 seconds. Hey, just want to let everybody know I've got a policy on this, and I'm not okay with this, and don't do it anymore if you were doing it. So we're done. But you've already addressed the other people directly, individually, and privately before you get there. But you have a responsibility. It's not just a right.
Yeah.
A responsibility for the people that work there. Okay, so let me give you another example, Ken. Everybody acts like somehow that you're not allowed to do stuff in business because it's business and you're supposed to just keep it all business.
Right.
Well, that's a bunch of horse crap. Okay, so I got 1,100 people here. I was standing in lunch line a while ago getting a taco with a young guy who just got married to another person in the building. He met his new wife here. So now I have 2 team members that are married that work here. Okay? And he met her here. They just bought a house, great little couple, sharp as a tack, all that. That's the good story. The other story is when someone starts dating here and it goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel threatened or stalked or whatever. Well, that's their personal life. You shouldn't get involved in that. Dadgum right, I'm getting involved in it. It's a 26-year-old, 25-year-old young lady that feels threatened inside our building.
Right.
Absolutely, I'm getting involved in it. That's not happening here under my watch. I'm the leader of this organization. Her dad expects me to make sure she's in a safe situation. And I'm an old Southern gentleman, and we take care of the ladies. That's how we do it. It's an old school chivalry thing. And if you don't like that, get your butt out of here and don't let the door hit you as you go out. I couldn't care less. And so that's, well, you don't have a right. No, I've got an obligation to her because I got to look her dad in the face if he stops by visits one of these days and say, your daughter's safe here. No doofuses are going to be around her.
That's right.
And so, it's not just a right. It's an obligation to create a safe, high-quality culture. Well, you're getting involved in their personal lives. That's none of your business. You dadgum right, it's my business. It happened on my watch, on my payroll, inside my building. That makes it my freaking business. So some of you guys that own businesses need to grow a freaking backbone and stand up and do the stuff you're supposed to do to protect your team and take good care of your team and actually be a freaking adult about it. And instead of like, I'm a wuss and everybody says I don't have a right. And it's not just a right, it's an obligation. It's called leadership.
Yep.
So, but I'm not going to, that's the heavy-handed part is running down your backbone, not at the employee.
That's correct.
So I'm going to soft pedal this with the employees. But, this is a liberal left-wing garbage I have the right to.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you about my rights. It's got my name on the side of the building. That's my right.
Right.
Okay. That means everything happens in here is my right.
That's correct.
And if you don't like it, hit the door. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And that's how this thing works. And again, I don't talk to people that way directly, but that's the inner Dave going, yeah, I'm going to stand up, take care and love the people that are inside of here. And this is a quality high class where you can meet your wife, get married, buy your first house, and I get to meet you downstairs when we're getting a taco, and I'm happy and proud that that's the environment that young man's in.
Yeah, and I love the example you give, Dave, because you do that, and I've seen you do that over 11 years. And what's funny is the people that would attack that, it's not funny, the irony is the people that would attack that are the ones that would scream, everyone needs rights and women's rights and all that. And actually, when you defend someone who works for you from being stalked, that is absolutely defending their right to come to work and be safe.
Yeah.
So the irony of the criticism of that, you've gotten involved in something personal. No, again, they are a professional. And to your point, you are responsible for a safe environment. And I think that's a great juxtaposition on how you laid that out.
But the political correctness crap has invaded people that own businesses, and they're afraid to even operate their own business.
That's correct.
Because I'm not sure I have the right. By God, you not only got the right, you got the obligation, baby. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.